Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Infinity Equation on another Friday night. We're here with your Friday night delight. And no, Ryan was not fired, if that's what you're going to be asking me. He's running a little late. So just to go ahead and cut that middleman out. He is running late. But we are here to have fun, to have a good time. I know I put the wrong time for the setup on the YouTube. My fault. That is my fault. You can blame it on me. You can blame it on the rain. You can blame it on Milli Vanilli. You can blame it on everybody else. But we're here and we're ready to go. I'm here joined by my illustrious team. We'll start off with this man here first, Mr. Hollywood Bobby.
What's up, gang? Thanks for tuning in on your Friday night. Don't worry, I reinstated Ryan. Dante actually did fire him, but I said, listen, you fire him, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I told you it's a new year. I'm not firing anybody. And then this gentleman here, Mr. Tyler Tees. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good. Excuse the new DTOF that I still haven't moved in the corner. It's too crowded in here, so.
And then let's welcome our guest, Mr. Ray Anthony Height. How you doing, sir?
What's up, you guys? I'm doing pretty good. Just swamped with work, but other than that, good.
Man, you look like you stay busy, sir. Like, I see all the art that you be posting. You stay busy.
I've been super busy. I mean, after the year started, just before the year ended, I got a ton of stuff. Like, I took some time off. After my father passed away, I had to take some time off AFRA. And then as soon as I got back, it was like, boom,
Yes.
It's a lot of stuff.
Well, I am sorry. My deepest condolences about your father passing away, and I'm sorry to hear that. But we will try to brighten everybody's spirits. We'll try to brighten your spirits, sir. We will have a good time, and we'll go to New York. We'll go to Rhode Island. We'll go to New Hampshire. Yeah.
You don't want to come to Rhode Island. I'm trying to get out of Rhode Island.
Look, nobody wants to come to Delaware. So
hey, Delaware's got really cheap taxes, so I'll go to
we
Delaware.
got no taxes. That's it. No taxes.
Wow.
Tax-free shopping all over here, and there's nothing else there to do. Except only thing people do here is tax-free shelters. So that might be good for you, Bobby. You might need some tax-free shelter when you start doing your movies and shows. And we just have tax-free shopping. That's about it. No, Ryan was not fired, Greg. Stop it. Don't you start. Don't you start. Ryan was not fired. He's just running late. He's a habitual late man. Just like I'm a habitual line stepper. So how's everybody's week going? How's everybody doing this week?
It's been a hell week as far as, but productive is like super productive. So I'm happy about that.
That's good. That's good. Bobby?
Busy, man. Busy. Yeah, a busy week. Busy's good though. I like being busy.
Yeah. It was pretty slow. I forgot. Yeah, Monday was my birthday, so I didn't really do anything except for sit at home.
Happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you. At home, play Call of Duty. Woke up late, and then play some Demon Souls, and then called it a day. But I did get my birthday present. This is not the way. This is not.
It's actually been really slow at work, but there's been a lot more people there, so it's kind of weird.
What's funny is they just asked me yesterday, because I work for a nonprofit and I work around people who have physical disabilities. They just asked me like, "Hey, do you want to get the vaccine?" I was like, "Yes, sir. Got to. You got no choice about it, but I got to. Got to take that. I take that jump." So it's going to be a ride to go get it down in New Jersey. The land of no left turn. That's what I call it. The land of no left turns.
Hey, do we we get to talk about all the stuff we got? Like,
We're gonna talk about that. Yep.
yeah, because we haven't talked about. We got Christmas presents probably.
Oh, my presents are. It was just a new TV. I was happy. I'm good with that.
I love
Thank
it. Just a new TV.
Right.
Just
The
a new
lady
TV.
got it for me. She got me a new TV. It's like for my PS5. I was like, oh yay! It's like yay. So that's what's keeping me entertained right now. Plus the figures. That's about it. All right, so why don't you start us off, sir? What?
For Christmas, I got I got this shirt from my girlfriend's coworker. So that was very cool of her. And then I got Jawas from my girlfriend and from my boss because he, for whatever reason, said like, "Hey, tell me what you like." Everybody on our team, like, what you want for Christmas, like. Jawa's pretty safe because if he end up getting, I end up getting both versions, so I'm happy. I have a handful of each, so I'm good for Jawas now. And then let's see, I showed on the last show. I showed that Iron Man Mark 50 from Fantastic Craft. Awesome figure, and somebody just put up another review today of it. Let's see, I got that what the hell is it? Comic Cave Igor figure. I think it's the Mark 38. It's the one that's he's kind of hunched over like a turtle. Nice, really nice looking figure. Just not that well articulated, unfortunately. I got a knockoff Revoltech Mark. Oh, what the hell is it? Oh, Revoltech Mark II Iron Man. You're gonna hear a lot of Iron Mans. I've been trying to fill my Hall of Armor, and it's okay. You know, it's not, the paint's not great on it. And then I got the Armorized Iron Man, which is really awesome figure. It looks great and great articulation, just lacking in our accessories. Ryan sent me the Overwatch figure that I needed for parts. I got the new Detolf here. I got the Fortnite X-Lord figure. I want to use that with my Reavers. And what the hell else did I get? I got the Armorized Iron Man, the original version, not the metallic paint version. Very cool figure. Let's see, what else did I get? I got Stiltman and the Hand Ninjas. Hand Ninjas are much better than the old ones, but I just don't like how high the head sits on that figure. And Stiltman, pretty disappointing. I don't like how the backpack fits on it. It crowds his head too much, so he can't really like look up, or it's kind of banging into his head. So it's kind of, I don't know. I don't really like it. And of course, he can't really stand without the stand itself. What else? Fuck. What else did I get? I got a couple more things. I got a well, I guess it's still Revoltech. It's the Yamaguchi, Amazing Yamaguchi. I got a knockoff version of that Iron Man. And the shoulder peg just busted off right out of the package. So it's, a typical knockoff. And I got the Stealth Armor Iron Man, the new one from Hasbro. That's based on the what the hell is that called? Invincible Iron Man. And pretty nice figure. I slept on it, and I saw that they're drying up in a lot of places. Like, I better get it before they're gone. That's it.
All right. Bobby?
I got a bunch of stuff. You and I were talking about it, so I'll have to go on my rant again. But I'll just focus on what I got this week. And it sucks because I don't want to sound negative about stuff all the time. But I was like really disappointed at the stuff that I got, especially for what the price is and what you're getting. I had gotten a couple Black Series figures and 2 Super 7 He-Man figures. So I'll start with the Black Series figures. I got Dante had got me the Thrawn, and I picked up the Hoth, Han, and Luke, all 3 from the Archive series. And man, I don't know how people are okay with buying this stuff, man. When I look at Legends and I see figures coming with extra hands, extra accessories, a Build-A-Figure piece, and a lot of articulation, and then I see Black Series, I'm like, shit, man, you guys are really giving a watered-down version of a figure. Like, Thrawn, Luke, and Han all don't have torso articulation. Like, yeah, they have a little swivel at the waist. Like, that's normal for figures, but there's no chest cut. There's no, chest articulation, no butterflies, no double elbows. And I get it. I get that they're moving to this single-jointed elbow with Legends and Star Wars, and I hate it. I don't think it's necessary. I wish I knew who was behind it to tell them that it's wrong. It's like these single elbows, they don't even go past 90 degrees on Han and Luke, like Thrawn a little bit, but not Han and Luke. So I'm just like, wow, you got almost the equivalent of a 5 POA figure at $20. I'm like, this is dog shit, man. And Luke, okay, Thrawn, $20. What did I get? A little blaster. Han at least comes with a blaster and some binoculars. Luke comes with a blaster and a lightsaber. And I was telling Dante this. It was one of the first things I noticed. Every Luke figure that came out for Black Series before this, they painted the hilt of the lightsaber silver, so that it had that aluminum look. This figure has a molded hilt, so it's gray. And I'm like, man, you really took the easy way out. And I'm like, guys, man, I was almost mad that I paid for these figures. I'm like, no extra hands. Everyone's got a trigger finger. Luke has a trigger finger to hold a lightsaber. Thrawn a bunch of trigger fingers. And I'm just like, what are you giving the customer? And it's like, I wish I didn't pay for these because, I know it's not going to stop the big machine, but it's like, man, this is bad. And it's like, we got to do a better job of fighting Hasbro on this, because it's like, I know Star Wars was always a little more costly because they always had more deco on, because you had to be exact to the reference. But it's like, I look at the deco on Luke and Han, there's a lot of mold color. Few hits of silver on the belt buckle, on his lapel, the face deco, but man, there's not much. Thrawn, there's no deco. It's all a lot of mold color. So it's like, what are you getting? You're just ripping people off, man. Totally ripping people off. So I was incredibly disappointed at what Black Series is putting out now. It's I know there's some great figures in the line, but dude, I got 3 figures from the same wave, and they all just are so disappointing. It sucks. It's I want these figures to be awesome. It's I bought them because I love Star Wars. I love the original trilogy. But it's man, it's unfortunate. When you pay for something and you see what else is on the market from the same company, and you're just like, shit, man, why can't you do the same?
Yep.
And then the Super 7 stuff, these are the first Super 7 figures I ever got. Now I was kind of cheap. I thought Matty Collector was $30 for He-Man Classics was a lot back then. And then when Super 7 took over, I think they retail for $45. I paid $60 each for the movie He-Man and Skeletor. So I overpaid. But I wanted them because I love that movie. I'm probably one of the people that actually like that movie. But I wanted them. I also wanted to see what a Super 7 figure was all about. Again, man, for $45, what did I get? Okay, so He-Man, he's got soft goods. That's nice. The deco was great, but it's he comes with 1 C-grip hand and 1 trigger hand, so he can hold his blaster and his sword. He comes with 2 knives. Both cannot fit in his hands because they're thicker than the sword. So they can't. So he can't hold his knives. So why would you even sculpt the knives? Why not just sculpt them as part of like in the sheath? Why? Why give them to us? So the one that goes in his belt doesn't fit. It's too. It sticks out too far. I don't know if this is just mine. And then he's got this little tiny dagger that is supposed to go in his boot. So when you put it in his boot, it sticks out like that. It's supposed to fit in his boot and like slide down the side and just fit there. I like where they were going with giving you the option to put that in his boot, but okay, you gave me a knife that he can't hold in a slot that sticks out the side. I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. You know, no double elbows, no double knees. So it's like, dude, for $45, man, what are you getting? You know, and Skeletor, he came with 2 C-grip hands to hold his staff, which is thicker than his sword handle. So he can't hold his sword. He can't hold his sword. And I'm like what? You know, and in the movie, he had a sheath for this sword. So why couldn't you give me that sheath? You were accurate with everything else. You know, and it's like, it sucks, man, because it's like, this could have been a really awesome figure. And I'm just like, okay, for $45, what did I get? I know there's a license and there's fees with that. And Super 7's quantities are probably a little lower, but let me tell you something. I know what my costs are. And I could probably guess what their costs are. And I could probably guess what their royalty is. I know what my profit margin is. Their profit margin is disgusting if they're charging that much per figure. And it's like, for what, man? For what? It's like, my figures, guys, $32. I'm giving you a stand, extra weapons, extra removable mags, 7 hands, extra heads. It can be done. It can be done. You don't have to be so greedy. Like, give people something and make a good product. Like, it sucks because I see, like, I really want to get on that Super 7 train, man, but a lot of their stuff, I balk at the price, and I'm glad I do, because you don't get what you're paying for. You really don't. I love that their stuff looks amazing. You're just not getting what you pay for. But listen, man, people will pay it, and, you know, all right, I'm not one of them, you know. Yes, I overpaid on these, but I'll at least now I know I'll never get behind anything else from Super 7 ever again. So I just want a good product, man.
I understand how. Trust me, I'll get into
it. For ranting, guys, I just, you know, it's just, I feel like if I point this stuff out, it'll make the consumers, you know, notice this stuff a bit more and maybe fight the big machine a bit more.
Well, you know, a lot of people who collect Marvel Legends complain about reuse of parts, but you're at least getting a lot of characters, and you're getting a pretty good amount of accessories usually. Yeah. But with Black Series, it's almost every figure is a unique sculpt. Like there's almost, you know, there's
they definitely spend more in tooling, so I'm sure that cuts into the cost a bit, but they're probably moving more units than a standard Legends figure. You know, like for, you know, that Spider-Man wave with Frogman is probably not anywhere near the amount of units that this archive wave was, just because it's Star Wars, and Star Wars just sells way more.
Yeah. Ray, did you get anything cool this week? You know, Christmas?
Not for Christmas, but I did get a bunch of stuff. Like I love books. I love a lot of old books. Like I got, hold on a second. So I started collecting these Marvel Essential books, and they're black and white. So you really get to see the inks and stuff like that in there, and they're beautiful. You know, if you really want to kind of get into the line art and stuff. And then what did I get? I got something from this one right here. This is a Naoki Urasawa art book, and it's got like stuff from his work on Monster and Pluto. If you know any of my work, like I'm a big manga and anime fan, but he's got some really like cool stuff. It's super hard to get because he was doing this world tour. Well, not world tour. Really, it was in France. It was just Europe, and he had this like art gallery. And I would have loved to have gone, but of course, COVID hit, and that would have been just awesome to see. And it's just these huge pieces in this gallery. But yeah, Kurosawa is a influence of mine, so that was super hard to get. I tried to get it for months, and it's been out. Yeah, so that's it as far as those go. I did get a couple other things like photo books. I got some Alex Toth books, but I really got into the photography of Felipe Halsman, not Halston. Felipe Halsman. He did a lot of like old school photography of Hollywood diplomats. He's got this series called Jump, where it's all these black and white photos of these old time celebrities jumping. It's really, really cool. And it's great for references and stuff like that. So I'm trying to build my reference library.
Nice.
And it's all like stuff that I can write off because it's for work. I mean,
Right.
it's stuff I love, absolutely love and adore, but I use it for study all the time.
Cool. Okay.
Nice.
Kind of make me wish I still kept with drawing. You and Bobby make me just wish I still had that drawing hand. I can't even draw anything anymore. Mm-mm.
Hey, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's for real. Like I know,
Yes.
I know what you're going through. I mean, it's one of those things. Even now, like if I don't draw for a week, I feel like I have to relearn everything.
Oh.
The rust is real.
The rest is real. Yes.
What did I get this week? On Christmas. So for Christmas, they gave us like $100 gift card to Amazon. So I went kind of splurged on there. I bought the Last Starfighter on Blu-ray.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to get that movie. John Wick 3, and I forget the other movie I bought. I know I bought another classic one, and I can't remember what it was. I'll have to come back to it when I think of it. What else did I get? And then for my lady, she ordered me 2 Detolfs. I'm thinking about getting a third one. So now that they're back in stock at IKEA. I did get Thrawn. I did get Cody. Like Bobby, I was highly disappointed in Cody. Like how you have double jointed arms and they can only go this far. Like this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, that's not. There's no reason why he should be able to go that far with double jointed arms.
Yeah, the single jointed new stormtroopers got better range.
Right, and this is why I don't collect Black Series. Like this is what disappointing. Like characters that I would like to get, just not worth it anymore. Like Thrawn, he's just like so now. When I have him in hand, I was like, eh.
The crazy thing is, wasn't he part of a Comic-Con set?
Yes, the original Thrawn was a SDCC exclusive, and you got his room with all his artifacts.
Yeah. So it's like you got this dumbed down figure in a premium Comic-Con set.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the other thing I forgot to include was I picked up 2 more Iron Man Halls of Armor from a Disney store, and unfortunately, I had to pay full price on those. So, quite an investment.
What else did I get? Oh, I got finally got my 4 Articulate Ninjas from the Swoosh from their sale.
What colors did you get?
It was the brown ones that were like cheap. That were super cheap. And then I got my
$19, something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I got my Red Ranger. So wait for my other ones. I have to find blue and pink. So I need Billy and Kimberly. Those are the last 2 Rangers I need. I did find Krang, shipped him out. That's going to Toy and Around. I did find the extra Cody. I shipped that to Ryan. And then I did get another Krang. I shipped that out to Punker Mike.
Yeah, Ryan got me a Krang too, which I was
Yeah.
pretty psyched about. Oh, I got this guy too.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Finally.
I'm trying to think.
Dante, that Pink Ranger, I think I saw her on Amazon.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I have to check because those I need just pink and blue, and that's it. The rest are all should be coming in the mail whenever they get sent. But other than that, I don't think I got anything else. Oh, I did. I did order a book, which is not kind of toy related, but half toy related. I haven't opened it up yet, but it's the 3D printing handbook.
Very cool.
Technology design and application. So get a little bit more robust in 3D printing.
Does that mean I could send you some of my sculpts to print?
Yeah, well, I haven't I haven't even opened up my resin 3D printer yet. So I really want to get trying on that. And then I bought this here. I got this from my local.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Awesome.
So
Is that in color?
yeah, this one's all in color.
Cool.
Which makes me want even more a high evolutionary figure for Marvel Legends.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh my goodness, I would love that. But other than that, that's all I really got. Oh, and I did get a camera stand too, a new camera stand because the other one was flaking out on me. Other than that, I think that was really it. 'Cause I gotta look around sometimes. The stuff's still in boxes, and I don't remember what I got. Yeah, that was it. That's all, folks. All right.
Oh, I also got the black and gold Mezco. That was an exclusive. That Iron Man.
How's that flickering?
It was a LA Comic Con exclusive.
Okay, yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I did like that. That was the Midas one. That was the Mark. I forget which Mark that one was. I forget which one that was. I got the. I can't see the name of it. I'll hit you up later with which one I picked up. I forget which resin 3D printer I picked up because I have my other one, my Robo 3D printer in the back, and I just need to fix it. I need to find new parts for it to get it back up and running. Let's see what popped off this week in the news. Wasn't a whole lot. We did see that Hasbro came out. You know what? That's what I want to talk about.
She-Hulk.
That's what I was going to bring up, the She-Hulk. But they did also, before we get into that.
Surprised that she sold out already.
Oh, you knew she was going to sell out.
Yeah.
Masterpiece Thundercracker. You can pre-order, and the DeLorean Gigawatt. But this was kind of like a little bit of a shocker. We didn't know how soon this was going to happen, but it did release the Marvel Legends Green She-Hulk. But the price tag was $22.99.
Yeah, that's why I stopped. I ordered two, and then I canceled my order, and then I just ordered one. It's like, nah.
We were kind of waiting for this price hike to come in. We didn't know how soon it was going to come, but it looks like it's starting this year.
Yeah, not
I'm
for.
actually- I'm surprised.
No Build-A-Figure piece.
Yeah. What were you saying, Bobby?
I'm surprised that it took them this long. We were talking about hiking the price up back in 2018.
Really?
Oh yeah, we knew it was inevitable, and it was always like, should we do it this year? When should we do it? Like, and that was, we kind of tested the water with the 80th anniversary stuff, or the 10th anniversary MCU stuff, because that stuff was higher price, and we were like, all right, well, let's do that and see if people buy it. And so people bought it. So by that time I was gone, and I was surprised that they didn't just hike it up then, because the experiment worked.
Right.
So I think I know that like Star Wars and Marvel teams talk to each other about that kind of thing. So I was surprised Star Wars hadn't gone up sooner, but it seems like now's the time.
See, I would have been fine if they gave us this one in the Fantastic Four box. We wouldn't need the gray one. I think this would have been a better suited for that Fantastic Four set when they came out with it last year. Because at least you get the dual heads. I think this one comes with extra. Yeah, this one actually comes with the extra hands as well. Like this one, I feel would have been much more better for this Fantastic Four release than the one that we originally got in gray color.
So Bobby, does Hasbro deliberately strategize, like, we're going to give you the figure, we're going to make a new mold, but we're going to give you the version that you don't really want because we know you'll buy it, and then we're going to give you the one that you really want a year or two later?
Yeah, I mean, they do. I'm trying to remember when else it happened that way.
They basically they're doing the same thing with Nova now.
Mm-hmm.
They give us the Nova Prime first, and then now they're giving us the Nova Centurion.
Well, that I can kind of let slide. It's a different look. That one I can let slide a little bit because one's like more of a modern costume, and then the old one's the older version. This is just the repaint.
Yeah, sure.
Different head.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because, yeah, She-Hulk and Hulk are like the only two where you're just swapping colors like that. Right. So I'm trying to remember a time where we deliberately put out the lesser of the two versions. It'll probably come to me, but it's like they've done it. It's also kind of you also have to count on the Jesse factor, like when they did the Thanos, the comic Thanos years ago, that was that stupid more modern day costume, and everyone was like, all right, well, I want a classic Thanos.
Yeah.
I think that was a Jesse move, because he likes to push what's in publication at the time. But I don't remember for sure like if that was relevant at the time or not. But it happens. It happened on my Spider Waves, that sort of thing. So maybe that happened with that. But yeah, I'm not sure what their rationale is with this one. With Hulk, they did the green and the gray the same year, but one was Comic-Con, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The gray was Comic-Con or the green was Comic-Con?
Gray.
And then, but then the green one, it was released with Wolverine, but then also as a deluxe figure.
Wasn't it two green ones?
No. If you wanted Hulk, you had to buy the first appearance Wolverine with him.
No, there was two. There was two green ones because
there was two boxed boxed Hulks that same year.
Because one was like, I forget. I think the green one was a Comic-Con exclusive one, and the other green one was a Comic-Con exclusive one. But it just had. I think it was just in green.
The green one for Comic-Con was on the Toy Biz card.
Right. That's what it was. Yeah.
And then the Hulk one as well, the gray one as well, I think. And then then the green one was also in the Wolverine pack, but came with different stuff, I think.
Yeah. They both, the green, that single carded one and that gray carded one came with the pipe, but I think they came with the same head sculpt.
Gotcha.
And the green one and the 2-pack came with a different head sculpt, but came with different, I think, set of hands as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I have all of them, which is sad to say.
I know when I did the 12-inch Hulk, we had, I want to say, I think I still have it somewhere. I got to dig it out. We tooled up the flat top head for a variant, for a gray variant, but we didn't end up getting to it. but like it was tooled up. So we had the idea in mind, but obviously we went with green first and not gray. But yeah, I don't know why they did that with She-Hulk.
I call it the Mo top, classic Mo from Three Stooges.
Yeah,
Because it looks like Mo from Three Stooges.
it does. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for him to get like if we get a Curly Hawk and a Larry Hawk, I'm good. Yeah, Three Stooges Hawks. No, that'd be. I think Marvel would sell. There you go, Ray. Tell Marvel to come up with extra Hawks. The Three Stooges
Okay.
Hawks.
It's so many already. Maybe it's one of his personalities. You know, you guys been reading Immortal Hulk. Maybe they're in there. They're in there somewhere.
So when they go into the I forget what it's called, the green, they can actually have extra Hawks in the green. There you go. Some random extra Hawks just walking around in the green.
Yeah, it's so frustrating that now we need we need 2 more versions of She-Hulk. We need her in her Fantastic Four costume, and we need her in her business suit.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Yo, that I'm telling you, that last single run She-Hulk was so amazing. If nobody's ever read it, you gotta read it. It was so amazing because it actually showed Jen Walters doing her freaking job as a lawyer.
Yep.
Like, and it was an impressive read. Rich M says, would it have been a Marvel thing because Jen was in gray and Jason Aaron's Avengers in time at the time? Yes. That's the only reason why I think they came out with gray, because it was during Civil War II. I think she was gray She-Hulk. And then when Jason Aaron came along, he turned it back into green. But she's a little bit more buff. Like she's more buffer than what she looks now. Like she's more like
She's got about 100 pounds of muscle on her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're just getting insane. Thank you, Art. Yeah. She-Hulk, yes. Yeah, that if you haven't read that She-Hulk, right, just if you can get a chance to go back and read it, it was amazing. It was just and I hope that's what they built the show around, kind of like that.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I really hope that's what it's about.
And if you haven't checked out WandaVision, for the first 2 episodes are up. It's pretty good.
I thought it was just the first episode.
Nope, first 2 episodes are up. They put up the first 2.
Were they
I
like
watched the first one.
Was that like 30 minutes?
I can't remember. Were they 30 minutes?
Because there's I haven't watched the second one, but I think it's like if it's a little past 30 minutes, but it's not even, I don't think it's 40 minutes. It's probably about 30 minutes.
Yeah, because they said the first 3 were like sitcom episodes.
Yeah, and I think they released 190 minutes, right? Like when they previewed them.
Yeah. And then it was like at the 4th episode, that's when it starts getting into like the full storyline. You do get little hints throughout the show. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it yet.
Yeah.
You get little hints throughout the show something's wrong. But it's straight comedy. Like it's was it somebody compared it to like Dick Van Dyke?
Yeah. Well, Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy, Bewitched. Like it's got all those feels to it, at least these first 2. And when Dante hit it. It's cute and funny and it's a lot of nods to different Marvel universes. Mm-hmm. But when you really something's fishy, and that's I'm not going to get into it, but
Berserk, for your question, I think we'll wait until like all the episodes are done, and then we'll do like a whole 2 hour, like a hour show. We're just doing a recap and review of all the episodes. But it's got me hoping for one more. So I'm glad they already prefaced it. Like, look, the first 3 episodes are just sitcom episodes, which is cool. So I was like, all right, I'm down with that. And then there's rumor, real quick, that Chris Evans might be back, but he said it's new to him. So,
well, he can't say anything even if there was. So Just keep in mind, Bill Burr straight up lied that he was in.
That is very true. Bill Burr did lie, and Sasha Banks lied as well too, because they said, "Well, I'm done. Did my one episode for Mandalorian. I'm out of here." Nah, I came back for the last episode. Gotcha.
Dude, the Russo brothers lied when someone asked them if the title was called Endgame, and they were like,
Yeah.
no. So,
They're probably like, "That's a good title, isn't it?" Yeah, it's probably a good title. Infinity War, the End Game, and then we can have Doctor Strange say it. Like you had that one person who says what the name of the movie is. We're in the End Game now. Oh, there it is.
Wow.
There it is.
That is such a Family Guy reference, right?
I was hoping somebody would get it.
Oh yeah, yeah, total Family Guy.
He's
He
like,
said
"That's
it. He said it.
I'm going. I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm going. Get to go home.
So apparently, Ethan Hawke is supposed to play a villain in the Moon Knight series.
Yes.
Just saw that. Yeah, I'm curious.
I love him, so that'd be good.
No, Ethan Hawke, he's such a good actor. Did I understand why he does what he did? He said he's like, he didn't want big roles anymore. He just wanted the smaller roles, which I can understand. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense because being as talented as he is, any role is a big role. Like it's memorable. So, I guess for him, it almost doesn't matter because I guess the bigger the film, then it's more about the film, not the performance.
Right. And I'm glad to see him back. So it'll be more of a series. So it's not more like, hey, it's an overall scoping like movie. We got to deal with this. You could build along with it. And then supposedly, I don't know how true this is, Charlie Cox finished his role in Spider-Man 3. He wrapped up today.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly. I don't know how true that is.
which is funny because Kevin Feige came out this week. Someone asked him if Charlie Cox was going to come back as Daredevil, and he's like, we'll see.
Right. That's what I said. It's from We Got This Covered. So, I got to take it with a very, very grain of salt from their website because half the time this stuff is just wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like him as Murdoch.
I'm fine with him. Like, I don't understand why
Yeah, I'm
everybody's
not
fine
either.
with him.
He's an okay actor. Nothing really. I didn't really have a problem with his acting so much. It's just he does not look like Matt Murdock to me. I does not at all. And give the man a fucking razor. Matt Murdock is not unshaven all the time. It's ridiculous.
You know what?
It's bad enough that he's not a redhead, and then you fucking,
There have been times Matt Murdock has been unshaven. Like, he just looked disheveled because he's going through, like, one of his crises of his life. He's like, man, should I just accidentally hurt somebody as Daredevil? Can I keep doing this? Like, dude, you question this every 5 minutes.
But this fool is showing up to court like looking like a fucking he just rolled out of bed. It's like, come on, man.
There's a lot of people who show up to court looking like that. That's the problem.
Usually they're on the other side, though.
if your attorney shows up like that, man, you're fucked.
Yeah.
What is it? That a court-appointed attorney? That's the guy who shows up to show. That's who he is. He's the court-appointed attorney. He's like, yeah, I'm here. I was in the waiting room. Okay, what's your name again? Yeah, my client like Pete. What? Not guilty, Your Honor.
Wow.
We might win this.
I guess when you hear pro bono, you know what to expect.
Right. It's like, what's his name for The Simpsons? Oh my goodness. Shoot. Oh, he was the lawyer. He pops up every time. There's he's a lawyer or something else.
Is it like Vic something?
No. Oh, daggone it. I forget his damn name. Oh no. It's gonna come to me later on. It's not Gil, but it's the other guy.
The other
Lyle. That's what it is.
Lyle.
Lyle something. But he shows up as an attorney. He has a briefcase full of emptiness. It's like either like sandwiches and no papers in there. Like, that's where I was keeping my lunch. That's your court-appointed attorney right there.
You just put your head down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm representing myself. I'll represent myself.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's pretty much confirmed that Deadpool 3 is going to be rated R.
which is
Yeah.
good. It's good to hear.
Yeah, very happy.
Glad Disney's not going to be scared to do it. But this is so. I'm going to take this down for a second. So there is supposedly dissension at Lucasfilms.
Uh-oh.
Supposedly, shit's been going on for like 6 months.
Well, no, this is the problem. They said the team for the High Republic was mad because they didn't know that Luke Skywalker was coming back. And they felt, so when that happened, they felt like it overshadowed everything that they were doing with the High Republic.
Why don't you get a tissue and cry about it?
Yeah, it's just like the Mandalorian team. Well, Hasbro didn't know that they were gonna blow up the fucking Razor Crest.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Now that one I can't blame on Hasbro. Like they was like, hey, this seems like a good idea, you know. And then
What's the High Republic going to be about?
So it's basically like everything before, like I think it's like 1,000 years before Darth Vader's story. Like the whole
What is that?
Before A New Hope. It's all before New Hope.
So they're mad because it felt like it overshadowed the excitement that they could get for the High Republic stories.
Stop it.
And
I
plus,
don't know
like,
who's mad. I really don't. I don't know who's mad about that, but I'll tell you this. I can't say what I do know, but what I know is like they shouldn't be mad at all. It's some amazing stuff in the High Republic that's coming.
I haven't picked up the books yet. I haven't picked this one yet. Don't tell me.
Yeah. I will say nothing. I definitely don't want to get in trouble with Lucasfilm or Marvel, but yeah, like the stuff that's popping. I mean, I get it. Like, there was a big spotlight, especially, end of Mandalorian and everything. Totally. But nah, like people are going to go nuts. I mean, they're already kind of buzzing about them letting the public know about young Yoda.
Yeah.
That's part of it. That's cool. That's very, very cool. But the other stuff is so much cooler and people are going to be excited about it. So, yeah, I don't know.
I'm hoping because I liked how they broke the timeline. Somebody showed the inside of it where they broke the timeline down from like where the Republic, the High Republic's at, all the way down to like it shows like where the Skywalker trilogy starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then like after that, so it's like it's kind of nice how they kind of broke it down for everybody to understand like where this is in the storylines. So I definitely can't wait to read it. I just haven't picked it up yet from my local comic shop. I've just been kind of slow. I might have to do it tomorrow.
Ray, you've done art for Star Wars?
I started working on Dr. Aphra. And that was a few months ago. And then, but I'm now it's funny. I had no, I don't know. I don't want to say desire because Star Wars is a big part of, all of our geek culture lives anyway. So, and I always thought it was cool, but you know how you're always like, oh, I want to work on this and I want to work on that. That never happened with Star Wars until it happened. So, and then when you get kind of sucked into the Lucasfilm thing, let's just say I wish I was like the Matrix was real to a certain point where I need to download all this information. So it took like a month just to get enough information to even start Aphra.
Wow.
So yeah. And I'm back from my break now. I'm back on Aphra again, but got a couple covers, it's coming out but yeah, I'll be doing that. I'm probably going to be doing more stuff, maybe non-Marvel Star Wars related stuff in 2021. So
I was going to ask you about that. Can you talk about? Well, first of all, congratulations at your hire at Warner Media and Warner Brothers.
Oh yes, that's right. They just blew that up today, right?
Yes. Well, I remember you posting it first before they blew it up.
Yeah, because when I said that, there was a lot of questions like what I was doing. Now, of
Yes.
course, I couldn't say, but like I said, like as soon as I came back to work, I always wanted to work at DC. And as a freelancer, I'm not under contract with Marvel, so anybody, and I was on a break, and there was some time there, and then they hit me up for Truth and Justice with Constantine and Papa Midnight.
Nice.
So, and it's digital first. So, and it's with Danny Lore, who I have been waiting to work with. So, it's that's going to be very, very cool.
So so you said digital first. Is it just going to be just online through like the DC Universe app, or is it?
I want to say yeah, like, and you'll be able to probably download it from Comixology too.
Okay.
So yeah, they do a really cool, like they got such a cool grasp of their digital stuff when they release these like digital only or digital first kind of thing. Like it's just amazing. And then I think some of them eventually go into print.
Nice.
So yeah, it's really, really cool. I'm excited. It's my very first official DC work. And my wife's a huge fan of Constantine. So it was really, really cool. And I want to say it was not that far from the time of her birthday when I got the news.
Let's see. That all worked out then. That all works out. Now, I went on Marvel and I brought up some of your work here because they had it listed on the.
Oh snap! Okay, I'm looking at that. Okay.
So
I'm all over the place, man. Like seriously.
The funny part is, the Marvel Comics Presents. I have that one.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I remember reading this, the Amazing Spider-Man, the worldwide story, and that issue 25. I remember following along because that's when Norman Osborn turned into the Red Goblin.
Yeah, that issue was super, super cool. I mean, I didn't even know that the piece that I was doing was actually supposed to be for, it was like a preview to a series that was gonna get done, that got shelved, and it was with their Tsum Tsum line. Those little kind of like, I don't know, cute little plushy slug-like things. I don't know what they are. My story in issue 25 is about those things, and they're basically like little sausage clones of Marvel heroes with all their abilities and stuff. So it was cute. I mean, I get hired, as you can see, like half the stuff is like teen superheroes and stuff like that, and some of it is like real cutesy. I don't get a chance to do a lot of darker or like let's just call it main adult heroes. And I can see that because my style lends itself to being more bouncy, more animated and stuff like that. So doing Afra and doing like Wakanda Forever and all that, I like doing that, like getting a chance to do that. And the thing with Constantine is the same. It's like there is a young person in the Constantine Papa Midnight story, but I mean, it's Papa Midnight Constantine. I mean, at one point, I'm going to post some of the sketches they had me do, so you guys could see how that goes.
Very nice. Can't wait for that. Now, I did have a question here. It looks like you did a lot of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. A lot of that.
I did. I did.
Was that by request, or was that something they just said, hey, you're doing so good here, can you do more of this?
Editor Chris Robinson, who was there at the time, hit me up with that. And then he ends up being a good friend of mine, and his boss, Mark Panicia, who is also now over Star Wars, who was, as you see, it's some X-Men stuff in there too, who was also over X-Men. Mark actually gave me my first like 3-issue run, and that was on Fear Itself, Fearsome 4. Mm-hmm. So I work with them a lot. So when
think it'd be awesome.
what, 2014 or something like that. I don't know. And he's like, I got a job for you. Let me know when you get back home. So I flew back home to California, and it was Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I had worked with Brandon Montclair, who wrote the Fearsome 4 story, and he's also the co-writer on Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur with Amy Reeder. So it all kind of worked out. It was like, old home week, and my style lended itself to that. I actually, well, first of all, Natasha Bustos is brilliant, and she does this style, which is so cool. And I was trying to kind of match that when I first got on, because one thing that I don't care for, and maybe it's because it's my fan side, is that when you have, sometimes it's cool when you have two artists and their styles are different, but if their styles are vastly different, it's jarring, and they're working on the same book or the same title. I mean, it's cool for different circumstances, like a dream sequence or something, a different time period, but usually you want to try to get people who have similar styles. So I try to do the best I could with my own style, and somewhere in between that of Natasha's. And it helped because I did about a year of Guardians of the Galaxy, the animated series, as a storyboard artist. So I was able to kind of break that down into a simpler style, and it helped like a lot. And then towards the end of the series, because I ended up doing like 4 or 5 issues of it. And towards the end of the series, I was like, well, I can't be Nat, so I'm not going to be Nat. And then, I'm going to do my own thing. And it was like issue 42, the Spider-Man thing. And every time like a Brandon would kind of get me in there to do these like one-offs, I was like the one-off guy, like a special issue guy, because I also did the smoking issue. And I want to say Amy Reeder wrote that one. And that one was kind of fun too, because it kind of reminded me of the old school, public service announcements that we had from Marvel and other like DC back in the day. So that was cool. But the Spider-Man one, I would say, is probably my favorite, next to my very first one, which was Cho Hulk versus the Thing, which was issue 14.
Yes, I remember that one. Yep.
Yeah. So that one kind of, they loved that issue, and they were like, yeah, we got to bring him back. So but yeah, 42 out of all of them is my favorite, and then my first issue 14, is my second favorite.
Nice. We got a couple comments and questions here for you. Rich M says, I love Ray's story with James Monroe, Englehart, and Marvel's voices about the spider that bit Spidey and Silk. Oh yeah, that out of something separate, again, Chris Robinson, that was one of my favorite things too, because James, who's phenomenal talent, we actually got to add to the Spider-Man mythos, and the spider that, spoilers, but the spider named Goddess ended up not dying, and ended up turning into this huge like mammoth spider who has been inspired by the humans he bit. So it basically, how the spider infused Silk and Peter with their abilities. Mm-hmm. Well, the same bite gave the spider human qualities. So it's kind of like doing its own thing, like being inspired by them. Occasionally, it goes full venom and, takes people's lives. But don't tell no more, because then the next thing you know, we'll see a Hasbro figure called the Spider. I'm like, no.
Yeah, right. It's you got to have it. I would buy it.
That'll be a next figure. Be like, who is this character?
Yeah. I mean, and what is it? It's like, what is it? 10 pages or something like that?
Oh, okay.
Or 5 pages. I don't know. It's a short story, but it's pretty cool. And they asked me, had you ever drawn Spider-Man's origin before? So of course not. Like it happens so rarely now because everybody knows it, and being depicted in comics now, it's almost like, not what's the point, but if you do it, it's for a special issue. a retelling or a reimagining, and it's their version. So I got to do that in that issue also.
Okay, nice. Just about asked this question: are any of your original pages or artist proofs if you draw digitally for sale, and if so, where? Thanks.
So I have a few things. Here's a crazy thing. If you ever seen my work at conventions, I draw, I would say 90% on 8.5 by 11 copy paper instead of the 11 by 17 regular comic size. And I just feel more comfortable because you can see the entire page and its entire composition instead of trying to, scan the whole thing. So it was better. And then I actually learned that from LaShawn Thomas, who's, Cannon Busters. He's all in animation, brilliant animation director. So I just started doing that, and it just became easy. So when I do sell it, it's small, and digitally, I just ink everything, or at least at one point, I stopped inking digitally, but I just scan everything in at 600 DPI, ink it, send it away, or I could just scan the pencils and send it to an inker. And if I have to clean something up, I do it digitally, but most of the time I pencil so tightly, it's not even, it's no point.
Yeah. And as you notice, as Bobby is intently looking on, this is what he's doing all this time while here.
Wait, what?
He's drawing.
What are you doing?
He is drawing.
It's fun. I like hearing him say that because when I always I'm always down for pencilers penciling tight because there's some bad inkers out there, man. But like when I was going to school, I hated inking. So to me, it was like, and I always like the look of raw pencils. So even now when I'm doing covers, it's like I go straight pencil the color. So like that became a thing like in the early 2000s, pencil the color. So now even like when I work with artists now for my comic series and I'm hiring guys, I'll see guys that have really great pencils and they're like, oh yeah, I use so-and-so for inking. I'm like, I really like your pencils. I kind of want to just have your pencils colored over because when you capture that rawness of the pencils, it's a different feel than when someone inks a page because you can get these really great pencils. Someone will ink it well, but it just has a different feel to it. So I've never been a big fan of inked pages, and then it's like you see a lot of pencilers nowadays pencil very loosely, and it's like, why, man? Have your artwork show through, like, make sure that you don't leave anything to chance.
That's why I started penciling tight.
Mm-hmm.
Who really does that really well, and I love looking at his work on Instagram? Arthur Adams.
Yeah.
His penciling, his inking is second to none. When he shows, like when you just scroll through and just see his work, you're like, you go from like where he goes to like starts out with just kind of like the pencil, like the layout, and then it gets deeper, and then the next page is like you scroll through and it gets deeper and deeper, and then you start seeing the inks. You're like, man, like I don't want you to even put the color to it. Just leave it as it is. We're good. Like,
well, he's one of those few folks. I'm trying to get to that point too, where his pencils are so good, but when he inks himself, and I think he enjoys inking himself more so than having others ink him, and just seeing Arthur's work up close, it's mind blowing. But he enhances what he does, and I think that's it. I love a good inker, and usually because we work in an industry that's on a deadline, they're trying to churn the stuff out. We're trying to get the books out as fast as possible. So that certain care and craftsmanship doesn't always show up because you don't have the time to do it. But when you see a phenomenal inker, you can see, that they spent some time and they have a style, and usually the collaboration is brilliant. But now we're having to ink ourselves, but some artists have already been doing that and have been churning out phenomenal work. Someone like, I would say, Chris Somney, who doesn't really do penciling. He doesn't even call himself a penciler. That he said in one of his interviews, like, he said to call me a penciler would be wrong. He just basically, the pencils are just underdrawing. The drawing is done with the ink. And when you're able to do that, that's why a lot of his work looks raw and full of life already in the ink stage, because that's where his drawing is. The actual drawing is there. But then you see someone whose pencils, like Bobby was saying, where pencils are brilliant, and then it goes to the inker, and it's like, yeah, the craftsmanship is there, but some of the life in it, something, it changes. And that's just the nature of the beast. Just getting the books out.
Now, I do have a question. I want to kind of go back a little bit. So when you were when you were first doing before you got on Dr. Aphra, and then when you started doing the storyline, do you try to incorporate some of the other Star Wars stories that may have been canon to it and try to incorporate a little bit into it? Or, because I do apologize, I don't read Dr. Aphra. I do like Star Wars, but I'm reading like the Bounty Hunters right now, so kind of easing myself back into it.
You should probably read, if you're reading Bounty Hunters, definitely read Aphra.
Okay. All right, so I have to go back and catch up.
Yeah.
But so do you incorporate that, like some of that older canon that may have been like kind of like pushed to the side, and try to incorporate that in Dr. Aphra, or do you kind of just like go with what you have already?
You guys have already touched on this. Lucasfilm they run a tight ship. So, there's things, part of the process, that you can and cannot do. And then you just have to work, you got to dance within the raindrops. And that's where you're at. Now, some stuff is allowed. It's just fine. As the illustrator and not the writer, I mean, I do have some sway with designs and stuff like that. Like I had a few speeders that got approved and a new ship, and which is really cool. But there's a lot of back and forth, because I don't know what the big Lucasfilm is doing. And then, God, love my editor, because they'll fight for things between Lucasfilm and back and forth, but you don't know what they're doing. That's really the other thing, so when they come back, they're like, we're working on something that's kind of like that, so don't do that. So so it's like, okay. But it's a lot of that, man. It's a lot of back and forth with that. But to incorporate the old stuff, I was inspired by some of the old Star Wars comics, and big inspiration while I'm working on any Star Wars stuff is Drew Struzan. Drew Struzan is the official Lucasfilm artist. He's done, Indiana Jones, all the Star Wars stuff. He's just a badass. And that depiction, and then who else? Stuart Eminem, that run, the Han Solo run, was great. So that's kind of where my inspiration is, and of course the movies, especially with the tech, because there's a certain way you got to do these things. So incorporating all that stuff and trying to stick with what they give you, you can sneak in a couple things here and there if people are looking. And sometimes, there's things that I've done that, let's just say, they haven't caught. So
now, can you tell us what issues that we should have been
what? It's the only issue is 6 out right now. I want to say 7, because that was when my break happened. So 7 is out, or 8 is out. One of the two, either 7 and 8 are out. I can't remember. 7 is definitely out, I'm pretty sure. But I'm back, and I'll be on 10. So I don't know if I can say that or not. Anyway, but yeah, you heard it here. I'm sorry.
We're not sure, but yeah, if you like that, go pick it up.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. But there's some cool stuff there, and but yeah, I try to add some of the influences if it goes. Sometimes they shoot it down.
I didn't think it was that tight. Like, I thought they kind of a little bit, like a little bit of free reign with it. Like, I guess, yeah. Just like Marvel.
I mean, it's comics, but I think what they're doing, because now it's all under the Disney umbrella, they're really trying to be more cohesive.
Gotcha. They shouldn't have done all the other stuff then. They should have kept everything. They should have kept everything like canon-wise and just brought it in together.
While we're on the Star Wars subject, I sent you guys a link earlier that supposedly Lars Mikkelsen signed on to play Thrawn in the Ahsoka series. And Ryan, I wish Ryan was here. He was saying, I didn't realize it, that he does the voice in the Rebels series, which is really cool because his voice is awesome in that show.
I haven't got that far. I'm still trying to make it through Clone Wars right now.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm not the only one. Thank you. I don't feel alone.
Yeah, Clone Wars, especially if you watch it in the order that was recommended, it gets better and better.
Yeah.
And then Rebels continue. Once you get past the first 1.5 seasons, it gets a lot better.
Because Clone Wars, I think I'm up to I'm up to the Bad Batch. I just finished the Bad Batch episode. Because I'm watching like in the order that they're supposed to be watching. So I did the movie, and then I got up to the Bad Batch episode, which was, I really enjoyed that Bad Batch episode. That was a really good episode, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Because it was like these clones could not work together. It's like, these are the worst clones ever. Go ahead and put them down to maintenance. They're hard. They're trash. Get them out of here. I don't know why we get them. Why we let them do this again? Why are we doing this again? Why waste our time? When they start putting it together, oh my goodness, you can see why they are the Bad Batch. Like,
Yeah.
Improvise to win this. We're going to do this. But yeah, oh my goodness, that's such a great episode. Now, you also say you did some storyboarding for, I just forgot their name now, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I did. That I kind of, I don't want to say lucked into that, but I was taking yet another break from comics, and I love animation. I mean, if it wasn't going to be comics, it was going to be animation for me. So I got to dabble in that a bit, and that is a whole other language. Because it's film. So there's things that, I can't do in comics that I could do with boarding, and vice versa. So I studied, I kind of already studied. I have a lot of like groundworks books. So the idea of storyboarding, which is kind of what I try to bring to comics too, capturing certain moments, and really trying to depict time in a way that isn't just a single shot, but when you look at a panel, you can kind of see, or in the middle of a talking, because if there's a lot of dialogue, sometimes I really like to show Mouse talking in comics. So it's doing the storyboarding helped really kind of hone that skill. And I did a few episodes. I did seasons. I worked on season 2. I think I did 7 or 8 episodes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I want to say something like that. So that was fun. But yeah, it's like you're doing these things, and it's these drawings. And at first, I had to kind of get out of the comic mode because I was doing too much detail. Too much detail on storyboards, man. And I was like, no, because my director was like, yeah, this is too. You just need to do this. Like, it's a gesture, And I was like, oh shit, okay. Well, that's cool. Then, so I had to work on that, and when I came back to comic work, my style changed a little bit because of it, and I had to try to figure out how to add back the detail.
As being a big fan of the Guardians comics, I was surprised at how good the animated series was.
Yeah,
it's a lot more true to the comics than the movies were.
Did you see like how what I loved about it is that the movie was like, I don't know, the base, I guess, for the show, but the backdrop is regular 616.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was a great incorporation because they were trying to do that.
Yeah, I was so frustrated with James Gunn that he wanted to totally ignore the Spartax. The whole that whole dynamic, and that to me was one of the most interesting things where Gamora and Peter both had these fathers that they hated, and they had they were able to bond over that, and it was a really good dynamic for the story.
Well, they had some great character moments in the show.
Yeah.
Which could only help the films,
Yeah,
honestly.
Rocket and his family.
Oh yeah, that was
so many things. It's like it's a good show. I don't think enough people have given it a chance.
No, they totally should. It's and it's a fun show. And if they wanted more kind of insight to the kind of intergalactic Marvel universe, it's a perfect show for that.
Nice. We have a couple questions here. Blake asks, what animation have you worked on, and what would you like to see in Marvel animation?
Right now, it has only been it's a fun story, but it's not even that long. I just talked about the Guardians of the Galaxy, but years and years ago, I was at a convention in Los Angeles, very small, like LA Comic-Con, and this dude walks up to me and who is now a friend of mine who at the time was doing comics, Matthew Humphreys, who is director of DuckTales and a bunch of other stuff. And this dude walks up to us, and we're at this table, and he's looking at our work. And this is years ago, guys, like years and years. I don't think I even had my first Marvel work yet. I think I was still working indie stuff. And he goes, "You know what? Here's my card." And I'm looking at this guy. I was like, I know this dude. He hands me the card, and it's Dennis Cowan. And I'm like, oh man. So it's for Warner Brothers. And then he's like, yeah, come meet me. I got some projects I might be interested in you guys doing. So he didn't give Matt one. But that's a whole other thing. So he go to the studio, and turns out that was when he was doing some stuff for the Boondocks. So we were drawing, character designs and sketches and stuff of, Huey and Riley. And I didn't get the gig, but that was the closest I had gotten to that. But I did get to meet a ton of people. That's where I met Dwayne McDuffie and Glenn Murakami, Paul Dini. I met a bunch of people over there, and that was really cool. But that's it as far as that goes. And what I would like to see for Marvel animation, wow, that's a good question because there's a lot. I mean, they've done a lot in the animation, or at least they have characters once or twice, let's say in Spidey or Avengers or whatever that pop up that I think I would love to see a show about. But, for me, let's see what would be good. Man, this is a tough question because I love Wonder Man. I like B-list characters, B and C-list characters. So I would have loved to have seen that series with him be explored. I also would have loved to see a series on just Wakanda.
No, there you go.
That would be an amazing series because there's so much there, and Wakanda is such an integral part of the Marvel universe. You could do a show just based on what goes on, who comes in and out of there, just the whole thing. So that's another show. But yeah, those are a couple.
Before I ask this next question, I wish they would have stayed with the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Oh, that was good.
Because that one that was Justice League level writing, animated show, and then they went the opposite way. Mom making cookies for the Avengers. I couldn't do it. When after I seen that, I was done. I was out. I'm like, Falcon's mom is making cookies. Like Falcon is the new kid on the block, and he's excited to be on Avengers. and his mom baked cookies for Zine. I was done. I was out.
Yeah. I never gave it a shot. I'll be honest. I think I watched a single episode and I knew it wasn't for me.
Yeah, see, a lot, and that was a whole. That was everybody's kind of almost like sentiment. Because
right off the bat, I didn't like how similar the voice actors all sounded.
Yeah.
All the male voice actors like Cap and Tony and Thor, they all sounded the same. It was like, if you close your eyes, you don't know who's talking.
Let's see, what was the other question? Where was it? Here we go. Greg Miller asks, Ray, can you talk about what you're going to be doing with Warner Brothers?
So I'm going to be doing Digital First, Truth and Justice with Danny Lore, and it's a Constantine Papa Midnight story.
There you go. And then Blake asks, do you think Marvel Animation target to more adult fans?
It depends on the show. I think that there was a decided turn. We were just talking about the other Avengers series. I think that was a turn more towards a younger demographic. But Earth's Mightiest was like the old comics where there was no demographic. It was just, this is the story. It's like the Justice League where it was like, this is a story where anybody could walk in and you almost forget it's animation because, it wasn't talking down to people.
They basically ripped most of those stories right out of the comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, which made it great. That made it so great because you were just like getting those true stories. Like you got your Secret Invasion story, which was like that was, and I think somebody said in the comments here, like that was a great arc that spanned like you want to see like, yo, what's going to happen next? Like, America's a Skrull, like he's about to take over. Like, yo, come on, like I want to know what's going to happen. Like you want to see what happens. Like
exactly, you're excited.
Yeah. This other stuff, I ain't excited for it. I'm sorry.
Well, think about Spectacular Spider-Man, which was another fantastic show. And it was also one of those shows that even though they did a few revamps and updated it, it still had that core kind of story feel. And even though the animation or the style of Spectacular Spider-Man was a little bit even more pushed towards cartoony, the stories themselves, it was, pretty much on the level of like the 90s Spider-Man, where, it's just good stories. And you just almost kind of like, well, the style of animation only enhanced it because it brought in younger viewers to get the same stories that we all got, instead of changing them so much to where it's like, this is a watered down version of what is the true story. And it's not pushing the plot forward. There's very little character development, stuff like that. So, most people want to watch that. I mean, think about your 10-year-old mind versus how old you guys are now. Sure, your wants are different, but your interests may vary. But as far as stories are concerned, you want to be engaged. Yeah. That's really it. And you don't follow storylines. What you follow is characters. You get so engrossed in, what's going on in this character's life. You're like, well, I want to see what, Peter's doing this week and how is this person going to get out of that? Because if it's all about the next earth-ending plot, you get bored, especially if the characters are empty. So that was the beauty of all the great shows, is that you gave a crap about the characters.
And it's funny they say that because DC's animation has been on point for like the past couple of years.
Oh yeah,
they have not disappointed really in their animation. I just got finished watching Batman Soul of the Dragon yesterday.
Oh, it's out? Oh, man.
Yeah, I think it's on Vudu. That's your 70s classic movie. That's what it is. It's a 70s movie. It's got the 70s music. It's got the 70s motif. Batman's only in there about this much.
That's good.
it's not really about Batman. It's just the name Batman on it. But it's so good. You're just like, okay, I can live with this. Even with the I forget the last Superman anime movie they did. It was
Red
kind of
Son?
like a revamp. I'm sorry, which one?
Was it Red Son?
Not Red Sun. No, there was one more recent.
They did Reign of the Supermen recently.
This one's after that one. Yeah, this is like it was kind of like after the revamp. This is like after the New 52. This is like the new story starting after the New 52. It's basically like Superman. You're getting the origin story a little bit different. It's a little bit change. It's a little bit changes here and there in it, but it's such a good story. And the first, like, it's his first outing as Superman.
Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about. I haven't seen it yet. I didn't know that was out yet either.
That one's it's maybe
it's a Man of Tomorrow.
Yes, Man of Tomorrow. Yes, that's
what it is. Yeah.
And his first fight, somebody accidentally gets hurt, and he doesn't know that. And then all of a sudden, you got the parasite. But it's such good. They write it so well. And Andrew, I just wish she never left. Andrew Ramona did such a great job building all those movies.
Yeah.
I was sad to see her go when she did after she was gone. But they're still doing a good job with these movies. Like, I know people have some hot takes on the regular live action ones, but you know what? Snyder movie all the way. I'm still for that Snyder Justice League. I'm still with it. But to me, like, it seems like DC does a better job with their anime movies and shows than it seems that Marvel does with theirs. Like, Marvel cares more about their live action, the animated, and DC seems to care more, putting more information, like, more into their anime movies than sometimes their live action. But I think Warner Brothers has more of a step in the live action one than the animated ones.
Somebody said something very poignant, I thought, that kind of hit. And I'm trying to get the saying right. And I want to say it wasn't Dan Slott who said it, so I don't want to. If it was, you can look it up. But it wasn't Dan Slott. But basically, they were saying that DC movies are trying to make silly characters badass or cool, and Marvel trying to make cool characters silly, right? We're more comedic. So when you watch a Marvel film and like Marvel stuff is always, as they say, the tagline is the world outside your window, and people have gone there because it's supposed to be everyday people. The powers and all this other kind of stuff is just what they do. It's like being a mailman. Like, this is my job. This is what I've decided to do. But the stories are about the people. So when they do that with the films, they're kind of like, well, these are just still these people. That's why you have something that they can do like WandaVision. Like, I think all of us have seen at least the first episode, and you can see you wouldn't give a crap about those characters if they didn't mean anything to you with those films. You would have been like, I'm cool. I don't have to see that. And the way that that show is formatted in such a quirky way, you're still like, okay, this is kind of crazy, but I still want to see where this goes.
Right.
When you think of other characters, you're kind of like, okay, I'm done here. You know what I mean? Like, people have a certain thought process about Man of Steel. They feel a certain way about that. Superman doesn't kill and all that. I mean, for me personally, who I like Superman decently enough. He's never been one of my favorites, but I've always liked the Clark Kent story more than a Superman story. So, and I guess with Man of Steel and his morals, like, there's certain things that you expect, and maybe that's it. Maybe it was so far of the unexpected with Jonathan basically like, nah, don't help those people. Right? I feel like Jonathan went full Drago. If he dies, he dies. You know what I mean? Like, I totally feel like that, and I'm like, I don't know if John Kent would, go that raw with it, because how do you get to be this paragon of virtue. When somebody's like, if he dies, he dies. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, okay, that's rough. So I don't know. I don't know how you get this guy from that guy, but the Snyder version of Superman it's dark. And when I think the movie is dark, everything's dark. And it's hard to be the symbol of hope when even your light is dimmed. So, you know, as like Christopher Reeve, it's like, dude, like you could shit in his Cheerios and be like, you know what? I understand. You just had to go, and that was the best place for you. I'll just get a new, bowl. You know what I mean? Like he's that dude. That's who I imagine Superman to be, right? I mean, it doesn't mean that he doesn't get depressed or hurt or whatever. I mean, but he's always trying to look at the best, and that's what we need, right? So anyway, that's my hot take of the whole thing.
That's a great way to put it. Before we kind of go on a little further, I did want to hear about your new comic that you're doing on your own.
Oh, okay. Midnight Tiger.
Yes.
That actually came out in 2014, and I've been so busy trying to get back to finish it. Because when it came out, it's one of those slow crawlers. Mm-hmm. So when it came out, it didn't do very well. It didn't do well enough to even promote it going to finish. Usually like an Image, whatever, if a book out the gate, it doesn't even, it's like just under breaking even, they usually, it's over, like, because you don't have the money to pay for the rest. That's what happened to me in 2014. And I just didn't want to keep putting money into something that wasn't even going to get my money back. It was just a sinking hole. And that's what it was. Like I did the Kickstarter. I ended up paying more money after the Kickstarter was successful. So that was a whole thing. And but the character over the last few years has gotten more popular. So now I did a new Kickstarter and got that funded, but I'm in a better place. And then, with my freelance career, it's hard to get back. It's like, here's a paying job, which actually is exactly what's happening now. Is bringing more exposure to my own personal work. But I have to do the work that pays the bills in order to keep things moving. So at some point, I mean, like I said, I'm slowly in the background. When I get a minute, which I really have not even a minute, I have more like 2 seconds to go back and finish this. But I already have plans, as you see with this image, of what the future is going to be. But I want to end it. I want to end this small run that's at Action Lab, then put it on the shelf. And this character that you see in front is going to probably be what I would do next. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Which is funny because Ciampa was here last week's episode, and he's not here this week. So I don't know where this man is. He was here last week, and when he could be chiming in at this point, he's like, "Hey, there's my artwork. That's me."
Yeah. We have known each other a long time, and he's just one of the best artists out there, as far as I'm concerned. And he's just amazing. I mean, I love everything he does. His style is easily recognizable. It's fun. It's just awesome to look at. Yeah. And the dude does everything. Like my hat is off to any illustrator who not only do they do it all, but it's beautiful at every turn, and it's their own. It's their own voice.
And I've been following him for a long time. His work is just impeccable.
Yeah.
I just this is when I see guys like you and Bobby and everybody, other artists, and it's just like, maybe I should just stay at the Art Institute and just suffer through it. But then I hear about,
you can't do it right now. No one's stopping you. You could just pick up a pencil and start doodling.
I don't think anybody would like to see the doodles.
Well, you have to like it first, though, right? You got to like it first. That's why you do it in the first place.
Yeah, and I did, and I honestly, I truly did love it because before I was going to do that, I was going to do architecture. That was it. I was like, yo,
Nice.
architecture, that's it. Guy representative came in like, hey, you want to come to this school? Hey, you got some cool drawings there. Why don't you come to our school and learn how to draw? And I'm like, okay, I guess, like, sure, like, because nobody talked to me about college at that point. I didn't know anything about it. It's like, all right, cool, whatever. Like computer animation. All right, that sounds cool. I do video games, do drawings. That sounds cool.
Absolutely.
I gotta do what? English, math, basics in the computers. I know how to turn on a computer. I'm good. Nah, we're done. We're done. It's all fluff classes. It's all you're trying to get them to pay for. You can keep it.
No. I went to school briefly for animation at Brooks College, which is basically the, let's say, what did it say, dollar store version of Art Institute. And it was their first year. And I took psychology as part of that class. So it turns out it was even worse because they saw my portfolio. I went there for graphic design and they saw my portfolio and they're like, hey, you know what? Forget about graphic design. Why don't you just join this brand new animation class we got? Industry professionals and all that stuff. And they did have a setup, right? You can go right into an internship because I was going to intern at Film Roman after I graduated. I did not graduate, but because I quit to work full time. I was already like going to school and working. I was like, this is a bit much. But when I got into that class, like 90% of the class couldn't even draw. It was insane. It was like, so then like I wanted to go to a class and Bobby, I'm sure you probably get this too. When you do something like that, you don't want to be the top person there. You want to be able to learn from other people. That did not happen. Like, I did learn animation. I did have a great time and everything. And I got to do like an animatic. All that stuff was super cool. But I didn't want to be the trailblazer. I wanted to learn from people who was already doing it, like in the class, not the teachers. But towards my first year, it was 2 years. I did a year. And I ended up becoming friends with the teachers. Not really, I mean, the students, a couple, but I was like, And then, you're helping the other people. And I'm like, this is not what I wanted. This is not where I want to be. So yeah, I left and, that was that. And the Film Roman thing didn't happen either, but it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, I went to writing. I was just like, you know what? I'm better off just letting everybody else like kind of see what they think of fit the ideas on the paper. I'll write the words. You can just draw it for me. Let's see. So we're just kind of going through your Instagram page. And you're like, you're just looking at some of your amazing art here.
Thanks, man.
What's funny is how many things you and I both worked on together, like the same content together in a weird way. So like I did the Red Goblin for Hasbro when you did it in the issue. I did the Guardians of the Galaxy animated series figure line for Hasbro. You did the storyboards. So it was kind of cool when you said that. I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Bobby, I got something even better.
All right.
I work for Hasbro too.
Oh, yeah?
I worked on G.I. Joe. I don't know if Dante could find it, but I did some designs for Firefly and Snake Eyes. And what else did I do? I worked on all the Marvel stuff. I did a whole worked on some Spider-Man line stuff. I did the Stretch Armstrong thing when they were going to do, Hasbro's going to do toys and they were going to have this shared universe thing.
Yep.
Action Man. I worked on that over there.
Wow.
Again, it's one of those things where I told somebody else, I said, me working on Star Wars is like me working at Hasbro. There's things that I never thought I would do. And you're like, damn, this is really cool. Because I never said, oh, I want to work on G.I. Joe. Shit, I'm working on G.I. Joe. And It's just crazy, just crazy how that goes. So when you were talking about your work on at Hasbro, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to tell Bobby this. I wouldn't mind doing designs. That was also a very fun job. It actually pays better than comics, but yeah, that was super cool.
It's funny you say that because a good friend of mine, Alex Sanchez, I don't know if he's listening tonight. I haven't seen him in the chat, but he's in the comic industry. He's done a lot of stuff. We went to school together, and I would hang out with him, and I'd be so envious of like the comic work he was doing, But then it's like he talked about like his late nights, and I'm like, man, I'm getting a really good paycheck, and I don't have late nights like this.
And
It's like, yeah, I'm envious of comic book illustrators, but I'll take the toy design route.
I can't find the pictures. Where were they?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought I could have sworn I posted them up in there somewhere.
I sped past them.
I'm really liking your Dr. Afra work.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to get back to it. Which it's been, I work with some great people. I mean, bottom line, I work with some really great people, and that's the other thing that I love about comics, and which is why it's like the girl, the mistress you can't quit. Even though it's sometimes a terrible relationship, and you got to live a double life, but it's the people, man. The people keep me coming back, and the projects. So the people and the projects, they're just, I don't know. It's fantastic. Dante, you might be able to find it on Twitter if you put in, my name and Snake Eyes or Firefly or G.I. Joe. But yeah, comics is hard. Anybody who tells you different is a liar. And just as an artist, I'm sure it's some difficulties in writing as well, but the deadlines, and it's not like, so when you're doing a page, the average page panel count per page is 5 panels. You're basically doing 5 little individual drawings 20 to 24 times in a month's time, a month to 6 weeks. If you ink it, that takes longer. And you have to tell a consistent story very clearly, so anyone could pick it up and read it, even without words. If the writer is calling for a bar scene and Wolverine's at a bar and he orders, a beer, and Deadpool's got his mask off and there's about 20 people in the bar, it can't be a ranch and Dazzler. You know what I mean? Like, you have to get it right. And it's got to be accurate enough that people can tell exactly what's going on there. So when you're doing those type of illustrations, you're supposed to be able to draw anything at any point from any angle, that and get it in on time. It's the hand movement part of it. Yeah, okay, that's not that bad, but most of the work is done in your head. You know what I mean? That's where the work is.
Here's Alex now. Only late nights Bobby had a house where we're counting all the accessories on his Steel Brigade figures and making sure they were all counted.
Hate, jealous, hater.
Nice.
Well, I guess you better start looking for a new artist.
Wow.
Bobby needs a triangle offense artist. That's what he needs.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of what you were talking about, like the detail and the deadlines. Like, there's a reason why some artists you don't see on a lot of books, because they draw so detailed they can't keep up with how fast they want to churn the book out.
Yeah.
Because my favorite artists are really, they do a lot of really detailed stuff, like Steve McNiven.
Oh yeah.
And there's a reason why he's not like on every book, because it takes too long to draw that detailed. So he'll do like a first issue, and then somebody else will take over.
That's exactly what happens.
Todd, I had a feeling you were going to say Steve McNiven, because I remember. So I was trying to get a job at CrossGen. Steve McNiven was just a fill-in artist at the time, and he was good, man. And then all of a sudden he goes to Marvel, and he's doing some fill-in issues, and then he does Fantastic Four. And I remember that run of Fantastic Four was so good. And then it was like, oh shit, he is amazing. Let's put him on. They put him on, I think, like an Ultimate Universe like event book, and like he was like burnt out at that time, and they were like pushing him to do it, and they had to get a fill-in issue and this and that, and I'm like, oh shit. And I feel like that's what happens with like a lot of good guys, or it gets to the point where look at Jim Lee's run on Batman and Superman. It's like they started out really, really quick, and then all of a sudden, like, there were months in between issues.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bummer, when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I got sucked in hardcore when McNiven did volume 3 of Guardians. He did the Zero issue basically, and then issues 1 through 3, and his work. I mean, I'm giving him all the credit, but the inkers, and I think I forget the other, the colorists. They did as equal as amazing job as he did. So yeah. I don't want to just say it was all McNiven, but his name just stands out. And so I fell in love with that book so much, just based on his art, and the story was good too. It was back when what's his name was doing, actually Bendis was actually writing well, and then Sarah Pacelli came in. I think he basically blew his load, and he couldn't keep up with carrying the book any further. So they got Sarah Pacelli, who is a very good artist in her own right.
Oh yeah.
And then she, held it down for a while, and then she couldn't keep up. And so then they started just getting all these like fill-in people, and it was like, oh man, it's not good. When they started getting people who just don't have those chops, they're like, just crank it out. You could see where it was about the production and not the love of the art. They were just kind of, it was like very quickly sketch stuff compared to the super detailed stuff.
Well, I'll address that too, because okay, so think about the styles of some of the most prolific artists in comics, and I mean, just the amount of work that they produce. Some of those styles are, they're definitely not like a McNiven or a Brian Hitch, or all the super detailed guys. Look at John Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, Todd, you thought about that instantly.
I love John Byrne.
Right. So John Byrne is prolific. His style is not detailed, but he's a hell of a storyteller.
Yeah.
Right. So that is where the expertise in being able to tell a story, because in comics, the art is secondary. I mean, it's the beautification of the art is secondary. We're there to tell the story, right? We're servants of the story. If your art happens to be beautiful in the telling of that story, awesome. But there you go. So that's one of the things, right? If you have a style that is a little bit more reliant on your ability to tell a story than the amount of detail it is, that's one thing. And then there are tricks. So there are artists whose work is detailed, but they don't either do backgrounds a lot, like they set the scene up and then you don't see any more backgrounds, or they do kind of a artsy kind of background, but That's strategic because, okay, I've set the scene. Here's an establishing shot. I might do a piece of an establishing shot in the next 4 panels, but I'm not doing any more background. I'm going to concentrate on the faces and the figures and then knock that out. Like Toth had some great advice, which is, get rid of the superfluous. Is the story clear? Are the drawings good enough to tell the story? Pick the simplest thing to tell the story accurately, draw the hell out of that, and leave the rest out of it. And that's how you get through this stuff. Like, you keep churning it out. You're a storyteller. And that's really it. That's the difference between someone just being an illustrator, because some people can illustrate one piece and it is, effing fantastic. Like, it is, you stare at it for hours and hours and hours because it's so gorgeous. But can you do that over and over and over and over again before you just get burnt?
Yeah.
Trying to live up to that. So, like Arthur Adams, his work is so detailed. Like, even the tiniest figures look good, man. Like, he draws 50 figures. I'm like, damn, that figure right there, that tiny Dormammu is like, whoa. It's better than anything I could do. But those covers are brilliant. How often do you see Arthur do series? The last series I want to say Arthur did was, and it wasn't a series. He did a one-off, and it was like a Guardians of the Galaxy team up or something. But before then, it was Ultimate X, where he introduced Jimmy Hudson. But I don't know how long he had to do those, And I saw the pencils of those pages, brilliant. They're just brilliant. So think about it's the lead time. If an artist is popular enough and the publisher knows that they are going to get paid when that book comes out, they might give that guy 2 years because they know that work takes more time. But filling guys, I'm a filling guy. I've tried to do more, and depending on the work. But then you start thinking, I want to do more work. I want to do more work, and I want to do work in the same story because it takes so long to get acclimated to a character. Doing one issue is always going to take a long time because you don't know the environment. You're not used to drawing these characters. But if you're on a series, after the first, second, or third issue, like, those characters, this, most of the settings, and you can kind of crank that stuff out. But many guys don't get that chance because they're trying to do too many beautiful drawings. Like, I was trying to do that myself, like, because you want every page to be like, oh my God, let me just stop at this page and stop reading the story because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not comics. If it happens like that, great, but that's not comics.
So
it sucks when you get spoiled in, a book that has both good writing and great art.
Yep.
Exactly. It's impossible to maintain.
It's definitely a double-edged sword because it's like, yeah, as a customer, it's like, I hated waiting for books. It's like, wait, I got to wait 3-4 months in between, an issue. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want their work to suffer. I don't want someone to just like bang out an issue just to, bang it out. It was always crazy to me, like Mark Bagley would do 3 books a month. But then, like, even when Alex and I were at school, we went to the Kubert school, they're trying to push, like, you got to be great with your deadlines. You got to be on time. And it's like, I had Andy Kubert as a teacher, and he was doing Origins when the Wolverine story. Shit, he was taking like 4 months to do an issue. And I was like, all right, so where's the line? Like, So.
Yeah. You got to think. You're hitting it right there. Think about who it is. Think about the work they produce.
Yeah.
If you can sell it, if it's going to do numbers, are you willing to wait?
Yeah.
Think about, okay, so this is someone who I absolutely adore his work and have and still do. Joe Madureira.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm not even going to talk about X-Men or any of that stuff. I'm just going to go right to Battle Chasers.
Yes.
Battle Chasers took forever to come out. Like, let's say the first 2 or 3 issues, they came out pretty much on time. I don't know how far ahead Joe had started. But think about how long we waited for issue 9, that last issue. And it was, man, I don't know how long it was. I know it was more than a few months. But when it came out, and people were pissed, but when it came out, that shit flew off the shelves.
Yes, it did.
And it looked damn good. So I was like, all right. And then you forget, right? It's like, I forgive you. This is gorgeous. So, and that's the end. It's over. So if you know, nobody likes to wait, but if it's worth the wait, companies are willing to bank on that.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned him because I actually did finally get to meet him at one convention. It was the Chicago Wizard World Convention. He just came up. He was at his plain Jane table. He wasn't charging nobody, which was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I have a Battle Chasers volume there. I had my little I had Darksiders book because he had just came. I think it was like maybe a year or 2 after he had just came out with Darksiders. I was like, "Could you sign these, please?" I was like a little kid. Like, "Could you sign these, please?" He's like, "Sure, no problem." Here you go. Nicest guy you could talk to. He stood there and had a conversation with almost everybody in the line. Nicest guy. Just hands down.
I still want to meet. I was supposed to meet him. I still haven't. I mean, LaShawn was like, "Oh, I can introduce you to Joe and all that." I was like, "Oh man, okay, let's do it." Like that never happened. That never happened. I was like, okay. But yeah, he's somebody I really, really want to meet. And just if I can talk to him, pick his brain, because he's one of those artists who he left comics, well, let's say sabbatical, because he was coming back and forth, right? But every time he came back, he was like even better than the last time he left. And that's kind of what you want to be, right? Like you don't want to take a sabbatical and then come back and you're worse. And he keeps upping his game. I was listening to an interview of his on YouTube, and he talked about how much he learned from the artist when he was doing the stuff for gaming, and you could tell like it evolved his work in such a way. It's still Joe, but it's like Super Joe, So I would love for him to do more work, but he has 2 passions. He loves games and he loves comics. So, next time he comes back, he decides to come back, he's got a moment, I'm there. I'm with my money. You know what I mean?
You and me both. We both stand there. I'll be like, yeah.
That's the thing that sucks for me. It's like, for me, it's like I tried so hard to get into comics, and it's like I see these guys that just have this talent that comes so naturally and this unique style, like Mad and Campbell. And I'm just like, wow, you guys have this amazing style and can just do anything with it. And then you choose not like you. It's almost like I took offense. Like they scorned me for not doing comics. Like Campbell was like, "Oh, I'm going to give you Danger Girl. It's going to take forever. And then I'm just going to do covers." And I'm like, come on, dude. And then Mad does Battle Chasers. Awesome work. And then it's like, I'm going to take off for 10 years. I'll come back. I'll do an Ultimates 3 series. And I'm out. And I'm just like, come on, man. Like, another one of my favorites is, I grew up loving Dan Jurgens. The great part about it is he's done thousands of comics, which is awesome. Michael Turner, I know a lot of people didn't like him. It's like, I love Michael Turner, and he just got better as he went on, and then he died, and then you're like, shit, we're never going to get any more art from him. But it's like I said, like Campbell and Mad, it's like, I'm so envious of what they can do, and I'm almost mad at them for not doing enough with it, Dale Keown. I love Dale Keown's art.
God, he's another one.
When was the last time you saw him on something? Just covers. And it's like, damn. It's like, come on. And it's like, you get mad because you're like, come on, have some discipline. Like, just get out there. And it's like, those guys are probably like, man, I made a paycheck. I'm good. If I can make money just doing covers, why would I bust my ass staying up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning doing a monthly issue. So it's like I get it, but I'm still like mad about it.
No, I am feeling you, man. Like I understand. I feel that so deeply. Because they still got to live their life and do their thing. But I'm like, damn, can you just do like an issue, like 6 issues a year or something like that, just so every other month, just so we can have something. But and that's as fans, that's what you want as a creator, right? Because you want to be a creator that everything you do, you have loyal fans that you're taking some time off, and when you come back, they're waiting for you. They're like feeding frenzy, give it to me, So, but you have to build that, and you're talking to massive talents, Keown Campbell. Although there is apparently a Campbell Spider-Man series rumor that he's finished, or it just hasn't been released, or I don't know. It's a rumor, so I don't know if it's true or not.
Sorry, just real quick. Thanks to Rich M for finding these. So he found Firefly, your versions of Firefly, and all 3 versions of Snake Eyes.
Nice.
Yeah, those were super fun to do, and they were like, just do whatever you want.
What year was that?
Man, I couldn't tell you.
But like a while ago, right?
It was a while ago. It was at least 7 years ago, 8 years ago.
Okay.
How long were you working on? Supposed to be working on Bobby? Like, what was it? It's about the same.
Well, I'm just trying to think, because when let's see, I was interning on Joe in 2010, and that's when they were doing the animated series.
Okay.
That Renegades animated series that really didn't do.
I love that. I loved it, but it didn't have an audience.
Yeah. And then I didn't get back on Joe until 2016.
Wow. So, Bobby, do you know Logan Libera?
I do.
Logan got me the Hasbro job. So whenever he was there, like around that time, that's when I was doing this.
Okay.
I'm thinking that version 2 of Firefly looks better than the one we got already, but that's just my 2 cents. At least he ain't come Looney Tunes Dynamite. I like that. Thank you, Ray. You didn't give him no Looney Tunes Dynamite.
Well, okay, so you guys have probably seen my thought process of designing these characters, and I was a big fan of G.I. Joe as a kid, and when you read about who these people are, what they're supposed to do, and everything, Firefly is not just a terror. I mean, he's a terrorist, but he's not just a terrorist. Like you read the history of the Larry Hama's. You read any of that stuff, like he's an assassin. He's a trained ninja, right? In one of those camps. So I'm like, okay, I have different versions of or aspects of this guy's background. Like the super high tech one is more, me thinking ahead. Right, me thinking where this is probably going to go, like, just to give different ideas of what's going on there. And then there's basic, like the first one, like version 1. There's some tech there, but it's mostly pretty, some flashbangs, different versions, some padding, stuff like that. And version 2, that's terrorist Firefly. He's got some body armor under there. He's in, he's out. He's got the trench. But yeah, so that was my thought going into these. Same thing with Snake Eyes.
So I just want to show you. I just want to show you what they did to Firefly.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Joe stuff in a while.
They turned this man into something like a joke. They turned this man into a joke, and I'm kind of upset about it.
I'm about to be disappointed, right, Dante?
Bobby, would you like to take the honors on that one?
I said enough, man. All I have to say is body diaper. Body diaper.
What the hell?
This is our Firefly.
Yeah.
They gave him You Looney Tunes Dynamite. Looney Tunes Dynamite.
And you know what? That the Dynamite, that's insult to injury. I know they were trying to go with the like Hurt Locker version of body armor that he's got on, you know, but that didn't work.
Well, what's funny is that they give him the, old timey Dynamite, but then they give him a drone.
Right.
It's like
when technology fails.
yeah.
Go to the old Wile E. Coyote, Acme gear. You got your Acme Dynamite? Sure do. Let's go ahead and set the timer on it. Throw it, and we're good.
And we're good. Let's slap that timer on it.
This is what they did to Firefly.
I mean, I could see where they were trying to go. They just missed the mark.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, but sometimes it's like anything else. There are people who are higher up who make the decisions on which designs to pick. And that's the one they picked. I'm sure there were better designs.
And then I did pick up Sunday Best Destro. I had to get Sunday Best. That's Sunday Best. That's just Sunday church gear right there.
Wow.
All gold, no playing around.
I don't even know what to think about that. And he's got the leopard inside, right?
Oh yeah.
And outside.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like Destro meets Kraven the Hunter.
Nope.
I didn't think about that.
That's what that is.
No.
Destro the Hunter.
I did not even think about it that way. But these are all based off of the new game that they were pushing. They were pushing a new game for this. I'm trying to find what was it? What's the other crazy one? Oh, Roadblock. They just did him a disservice.
Oh, I'm almost afraid to see this because that's the character I
You can show him
want.
Captain Crunch.
Oh, that's it.
Wait. Are you talking about Shipwreck?
Oh no!
You haven't
Dante,
got,
pull up Captain Crunch.
let me see.
Just Regal variant.
I'm just going.
Just Google Regal variant Cobra Commander.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, it's Cobra Commander? Oh, no. Oh, come on.
Gold boots.
Yeah. Look
Yeah.
at that gun. It's like a flintlock pistol.
Yeah.
Yes, they gave him.
Swashbuckle. No, you're right. Captain Crunch.
Iron middies. We're going.
Pirate Cobra Commander.
It's just like when you look at it, it's like, oh, and then this one's no better.
Yeah. The sad thing is, I think I might like that one better.
Yeah.
Although it's got a Doom Mysterio vibe with the clips for the cape.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, it's busy.
Yeah.
Whatever, he's got to take this piece off, that front piece. That might help, but it's a bit busy.
But the crazy part is they market these Joes so bad that you can't hardly get them.
Wow.
The marketing.
Dante, did you see the new story that came out about
Yes.
the Target manager?
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's bad.
So I'll go into this because it was a horrible, horrible story. So I think it was Greg who tagged me in the story. He said, if you got 20 minutes, watch this. The guy, he's a friend with another guy in the group. He said he'd been sitting at Target for almost 8. He was almost there. Like when he got there, he was already there for like 3 or 4 hours already, standing there waiting for the new Cobra Vipers to come out because they're only at
Target.
Target variant. They're only Target exclusives. So he had been standing there for a couple hours. He asked a couple people, and they said they don't know where they're at, or you go talk to the person in toys, and they said they had 6 on hand, and nobody could find them. So they said, so the one guy who had been there for a while, seeing this one bald guy go up to the little scanner, had a box in his hand, scan it, the Vipers in his hand. So there's a box of 6 in his hand. Scan it. And it's like, and walks away. And he's like, yo, I think that guy's got all the Vipers. So they follow him. So
An employee or just a customer?
hold on, we'll get to that. We'll get to that part. So they asked the other guy, like, hey, I just seen this bald Asian guy take these Vipers somewhere in the store. So like, the bald Asian guy, there's nobody that works here like that. So they hurry up to the front. The one guy had almost been there for 8 hours straight. 8 hours he was standing there waiting for him, trying to find him. They see him about to walk out the door. He already purchased him. He walked out the door. And the other guy, he's like, the guy who's been there for 8 hours, he's like, stopped and talked to him. And he said, the one guy who's telling the story, he was like, I don't know what fully happened. He's like, I don't know all the full details of what was said at that point. But he had to return them. So they each got, 2, I think, out of the box. So he came back, he returned them, a couple of them, and they each got to buy the other ones. So they went to a store man, the assistant manager, I think it was, at the store. Oh no, sorry, the employee. Yeah, sorry, Greg, correct me. He said the employee had scanned them. They went to the assistant manager. He said, she's like, would you like to make a complaint? Yes. So in the end, they come to find out this was a store manager of another Target in the area. He's like, I know I seen that dude somewhere else. He's the store manager of a Target at a different Target. So he rolled up to this store,
Wow.
grabbed them, and was getting ready to walk out the door with them.
He was getting ready to scalp him.
Who knows? And that was the first thing they said. They said he had said, he's like, look, I'm no scalper. Where everybody can confront him like, hey, I'm no scalper. But
What the hell are you doing with all of them then?
you're a store manager at another store. Why are you even over here?
And that's all the store has is those 6.
That's
so
it.
Come on.
Because Hasbro has been shortchanging them. They know what they're doing. I hate to say, Hasbro knows what they're doing on this one. When they make them exclusive, they're only sending about this much there, and they're like, it's up to you all to fight it out now. Good luck.
Well, it's news, right? So that's the other thing. If you get buzz and people are talking about how hard it is to get something, as soon as you make something hard to get, more people want it. So, nature of the beast.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He did grab him from the back. They would never even hit the shelf. This store manager grabbed him from the back. Like, it makes no sense. And it's crazy because people, and I said this before, it's a double-edged sword with these 6-inch G.I. Joes. People have been wanting 6-inch G.I. Joes for a long time. We finally get them, and Hasbro shortchanges us on them.
See,
Certain
he
ones,
knew exactly what he was doing.
yeah. And it makes it harder for everybody else to find them because then, like, yo, I can't find them either. Somebody's buying up the whole case. Either it could be a store employee or somebody who gets there just early enough, who finds them and says, hey, you know what? I'm buying them all up. And the employees are getting so tired, like, and I feel bad for the employees because they're getting tired. They're like, you're here for the Joes, we ain't got none. Like, before anybody can I ask you, they're like, look, if you look for those Joes, we ain't got none. Just leave me alone. At this point, they're just like, leave the hell alone. Get away from me. Because if I hear about the damn Joes one more time, I'm going to scream.
That's crazy.
And it's just sad. Like, they went about it. They made what was it, Ty, that you said like they made the wrong ones exclusive to Target?
Yeah, I mean, like the Roadblock, he had gold all over him, and then they came out with a different version where he's wearing muted costume. That they made the muted one the exclusive, and the one with gold all over him the regular version. It's like, no, you got it wrong. You do it the other way.
Right. But then they just went back and changed the colors anyway. So they're going to come out. They're going to come out with the same figure with a redeco on it.
Mhm.
Oh wow. Greg says, now Pop Finder, the app and the website have been zapped by Target corporate on Firefly and Viper. You can't even tell if they're there or not now. So now the Target employee really wins.
Wow. There you go.
So it's a sad state. At this point, I hate to say it, but just don't buy those G.I. Joes at this point. Because I don't want to be like that. At some point, like Bobby said about these Star Wars Black series, at some point we got to say no. You got to put your foot down and say no. Like this is not going to happen. No. Mm-mm. Because if you're not going to be fair for everybody and do it the right way, then what's the point?
Yeah.
And the
That's
pandemic
messed up, man.
bigger. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all hanging in here with us. Man, another long episode, and I love it. We had a good
Oh,
time.
man. 2 hours and 20 minutes just about. That
Yeah.
flew by.
2021, you know what? These are the first two shows of 2021, and they've been freaking awesome. And I've been loving them, enjoying them. So 2021 is off to a great start. But Ray, where can everybody find you at?
Well, Dante, you helped out there because you have my Instagram. I want to say my Twitter was up there.
My bad, I was stalking.
No. That was good. That was good because usually, that pops up later. But people, if they watch the show, they already saw. They already know where to find me, and that's pretty much it. Like Twitter and Instagram. I mean, I do have a spot on Facebook, but it's like an artist page, so I'm hardly there. It's just work that is connected to Instagram. And I did have somebody kind of curating it for me while I was gone. So, but nothing really new pops up there at all. What else? Yeah, I mean, nobody uses Tumblr, but when I do Instagram posts, I just post everywhere. Like it just goes to all the social media. So yeah, Instagram for sure, and Twitter.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's where you can find them. Find Ray Anthony Height.
I guess I better change my holiday name back. To the regular name. I try to be festive,
And when can we expect your new DC comic, your digital release?
I don't know. We gotta see. I saw that they promoted the hell out of it today, though.
I haven't seen it yet. I know there was supposed to be a DC announcement, but I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah, it's I think CBR and when they announced the solicitations, I want to say it said April, but yeah, I mean, comics are wobbly, like you don't know when something is done.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I could be done now, I could be working on it now. You don't know. I could have been done 2 weeks ago. But yeah. So because what else has got? Like in March, the Captain America Anniversary tribute book. Like I contributed to that. You know how Marvel had the X-Men one, like
right.
Giant Size X-Men. So that one is coming out. I want to say that's in March too. And then I just finished helping out on the X-Men book Sword, #3. So I got a bunch of stuff, but you see, like I'm in, I'm out. It's not a series. Afro was going to be that, but life happens. But hopefully, I'm fingers crossed that the opportunity for me to be on a series will pop up again, soon. And because the cool thing is about being on a series is that when you get into trades, when it goes into trade format, it's something that you could have on the shelf. Like I did Superb for Lion Forge, and
Long time.
yeah. It's what was that? I don't know what Lion Forge is doing right now, but that was a fun series, to do, groundbreaking. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that if anybody's still out there listening.
Nice.
Pick that up.
I appreciate you coming on the show with us. Thank you for spending time with us and hanging out.
My pleasure.
Before I get out of here, so the news that was broken yesterday for the Black Triples, we will be trying to break the Guinness World Record, a 55-hour long this podcast ever.
Whoa.
So how we part of that? We're trying to figure out how we can fit the infinity equation in there as well, because it will start Friday, April the 16th, and we'll be going to that Sunday.
What? Okay, good luck. that I'm already tired.
There's gonna be some shifts. It's definitely gonna be some shifts taken in between.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, it's gonna be very long, but we're definitely excited for it. Can't wait. And see if we can. This be a nice little achievement to have on there.
For sure.
But yeah, so we'll be doing that in April. So I can't wait for that. And please, guys, everybody, don't forget, we will starting in February. We will be having the toy photography contest. Each month, we will be picking a winner at the last episode of the month, and you get the winner, and the winner gets a free $50 Amazon gift card. So you can't beat that. And so February's theme is sibling rivalry. So everything is up on the post on Instagram. Please check it out. Please use the hashtag IE sibling rivalry. And then in March, it'll be something completely different. And then everybody has a chance to win. So even if you're not the best photographer out there and you feel like, my stuff it's not that great, still try. You never know. You really don't. You never know if you might win. So at least give it a try. And you get to see other people's work and get to bounce ideas off of them too. Everybody's really good out there and really giving out good advice in toy photography. So give it a try. Definitely, give it your best shot. You never know. Because like me, I stopped drawing, and man, if I try to do it right now, I would be horrendous. Ray and Bobby be like, look, I can't use you right now. You need to sit down. So, don't come to me. Come back when you got at least about 6 years more underneath that pencil, okay? But but definitely try. That's all I ask. Definitely try. All right. Doesn't need the money. All right, you rich? Man, I need to borrow some money off of you then, Art. So for me, that's it. Bobby, you got anything?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Ray, thanks for coming on. It's good talking.
Happy to. Bobby, I have a quick question for you.
Sure.
I know you're using a Cintiq.
Yep.
What type of Cintiq is it? Because I'm thinking of getting one.
What model is this? It was their newest model in 2019. So
is it the 24 or 22?
It's the 24.
Nice.
Yeah. When I got laid off from Hasbro, I was pissed because it's like I love my Cintiq, and then I was like, crap, now I got to go buy myself a Cintiq because I can't do anything without it. So it's like I can't remember the last time I drew traditionally. I do everything on this Cintiq. I love it.
Okay, good recommendation.
There you go.
It's like it took a while. It's definitely a different feel. There's nothing like a pencil to paper. And then you know, you got to find the right brushes to get that pencil look that you want. But you can get there. It saves a shit ton of time. So much time.
Because I'm using a Cintiq, but it's the old, like it's like 6-7 years old, and
Okay.
it's a 13 HD.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I gotta upgrade because I'm trying to play in the big boys equipment field, right? I'm playing with the big boys in work,
Yeah.
but I got, you know,
It-
figurines.
for comic guys, it's interesting because, like, you know, like my friend Alex, he sells a lot of his work and makes, you know, some good money on selling his work. But it's like when you go digital, there's nothing to sell. So it's a trade-off. It's like, well, I could save time, but then I don't have that extra income of selling my stuff later.
Yeah, so that was the dilemma, and most of the guys that I know, they always talk about that. Oh, you know, you don't have anything to sell. Why don't you do your layouts digitally and then ink your originals? And that was cool and everything, but I think now I'm more like I just care about the story. I don't, you know, the originals. If somebody is interested in my artwork that much, they'll buy these 8.5 by 11s. They have.
Sure.
So I'm cool. Like I'll just stack them up, and they're easy to manage too. So
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
stick with my 8.5 by 11, but I'm doing all my inks digitally. And
Actually,
we should force Dante to draw more. That's all. I'm saying.
actually, that brings me up to a good question because I did receive an email before we get out of here. Repops looks like they're going to have New York Comic Con. They're going to try to have it. So that was my question to you, gentlemen. Do you think you would go if they do have it
When is it?
in October?
Oh yeah, dude, shit's gonna be back to normal in October. I went to Joe Fest in September.
Oh man.
Like,
Yeah,
look,
I'm gonna say
there's a
no.
show, I'll go, man. If I gotta wear a mask, I love talking to the fans and stuff, so I'll go.
In my mind, I'm like, in October, let's see, because it's just the beginning of 2021.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then you get your vaccination together, like you talked about earlier in the show. That'll help because it's supposed to last a year. The vaccination. So,
Mhm.
and then California just released today. They're having a government rollout to get, you know, stuff under control because we're at the top, man. We're at the epicenter of the COVID-19 outbreak. So, yeah. So you guys I know you guys are different. Bobby, did you say that you're in Rhode Island?
Yep.
So, and you're like, don't come to Rhode Island. Actually, I love Providence, so I love that
Yeah.
show. I was there. Yeah, it was great. But yeah, like you guys are all good. Like here, this is like the 9th level of hell when it comes to COVID-19. So, and people like it's like the more money you have, the less you give a shit about other people. So, you know, it's kind of like all the people with all the money, they don't want to wear masks. They don't want to, you know, do any of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I don't want to make a blanket statement, but let's just say that there's a certain group or in Orange County that are just they don't give two craps. So
They're just messing up.
oh yeah, I mean they're messing up. You know how you go to school and it's like the really really like bad kid that gets everybody in trouble, but you want to give them a blanket party, like they're kind of like that. Like I think if we managed to get everything together and people were on the same page, we would be cool, you know. But didn't work out that way. We had people who are definitely more individuals.
Definitely.
So
all right,
anyway, that's it.
So if I do see, if it is con, you definitely see me there. I'm like,
Okay.
I'm fiending for a con. Last year, look, NYCC is my jam. That's the one I go to. SDCC is like my top of the list. Like that's my bucket list to go to. I gotta try to go to a San Diego Comic Con sometime in my life.
You have to. You really do. I think everybody should do it at least once.
Yeah, you know, I might be able to fly out there on Bobby's private jet when he gets one day. Well, see, you know what, Bobby? There you go. You could talk to Ray about when the Steel Brigade cartoon starts taking off.
All right.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah.
I mean, publicists, look at me. I'm making things happen. Publicists.
It's working. It's working.
Right. See, I go around talking. So, Ray, remember you were talking about doing some G.I. Joe stuff? Well, I got something a little bit better. Steel Brigade. Gentlemen. Name's Bobby.
I think I might know Bobby.
You remember you used to work at Hasbro? Not the same time, but you used to work at Hasbro. So
Hasbro, man.
He's got something new coming out. Here's my card. I'm like, oh, wait, take that back.
That's like an agent.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, that's my old card. Let me take that back. Let me give you my new card. Well, actually, I have a new card on it. My mama's still getting them made, but
you're gonna give me the business cards for the podcast that have my name on it.
There you go.
No, remember what was it on Living Color? It was oh my goodness, it was the two of them. They were always trying to be. He's like, wait a minute. He's like, I forgot my card. He'd be like, bam. Hey,
yes, that was Living Color.
Yes. Oh my goodness, that's what I'm gonna be like. I'm like, Bobby, I forgot that card. Bobby gonna be like, bam. He gonna hand out a Steel Brigade action figure. Like, see, it's on the bottom of the foot and the back of the leg.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be very cool. Like it comes as an accessory. It'll be like a time card in a figure.
Yo, that'd be awesome. You know what? Have like it's like a 3D printed Steel Brigade, but on the back of it has the information for you, Bobby.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh my goodness. Yes, Art. Yes, Alex. Yes, Infinity Equation meetup in NYC. See if we have it. Yes, I am down. I will be there. All right, folks. Let me just get out of here. For me, for Bobby, for Todd, for unfortunately Ryan who couldn't be with us tonight. We'll be back next week. There's no guest next week, so it's just you're stuck with the four of us. You're gonna have to deal with it. Thank you, Ray. Anthony Height, for being with us and hanging out with us and having a good time. It was great talking to you.
Same.
And we'll see y'all next week. Stay safe and don't be fighting with these Target employees or these G.I. Joes. And don't be fighting over these other G.I. Joe collectors because it's not worth it. They're just pieces of plastic. They're just pieces of the plastic that could be melted down any day of the week with a fire. Just letting you all know. Because my kids over here, fire happened. State Farm better just give me my check. That's all I know. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.